In a world of many advancements, how can we use these new technologies in making the world innovative while preserving the environment? Metro Manila is a place filled with good places to see and to visit. Everywhere you look, there's a chance that you'll find and discover new and interesting things. Its hustle and bustle and bright street lights and live atmosphere are its known characteristics that you could either look up to or something that you can find problematic.
Hi there! We're Group C, and today we're going to share with you our project regarding the Sustainable Walled City.
Too much of anything is bad, which correlates to pollution, lack of breathable space where pedestrians can enjoy, and streets packed with so many establishments and vehicles rather than spaces for people to walk through. These are just a few things we experience in Metro Manila. We find working and focusing on buildings, roads, and vehicles in one is one aspect that is very important, that which every city needs. But, or however, Metro Manila clearly has signs of an imbalance. There are issues that are neglected and being compromised to work on these things. One of which is that the fact that places in Metro Manila prohibits pedestrians to enjoy a walk along in streets, which is very, it sounds little, but it's very important. And there are limited areas where people can truly enjoy and feel nature. Another issue is that as a population, not only in Manila, but the entirety of Philippines, is growing every year, and it's not slowing down. So, which leads to a bigger problem, or the fact that results into lesser lands, which are used for food production, and which is why instead of letting abandoned buildings and spaces and lands that have no use, we've come up with a project in Intramuros, Manila, wherein we maximize and utilize these abandoned buildings and spaces into areas where farming is made available in an urban setting.
We chose Intramuros not only because of its historical data, but we see Intramuros as a place where people would want to preserve its character. If people make an effort to do so, why not make use of the unutilized areas and turn them into a more purposeful buildings? Therefore, making these areas into a more sustainable spaces and turning Intramuros the sustainable walled city. The group wanted a location which is somewhat excluded, yet was still part of Metro Manila. A location that came to mind was Intramuros because of its walls that creates a partition from the different places within the capital. Surrounding this area are unutilized land and golf courses. The group thought of a way to maximize said unused space and abandoned buildings located in the northern part of Intramuros. The three chosen locations serve different objectives and intentions for the purpose of adding sustainability to the area. This would be the red, white, and black location. Each site would have its own specific feature contributing to the overall purpose of the project. The red location would be for urban farming, while the white location would be used for retrofitting, and adaptive reuse for the black location.
For this project, we wanted to incorporate urban farming in Intramuros, more specifically in vacant lots and spaces, to further maximize its potentials. The crops that are going to be harvested in this area could help aid the problems of food security. The Walled Urban Farm is composed of different features. The plants are supported by aquaponics, biodome, rainwater collecting system, vertical farming, and solar panels. For the urban farming of our project, it is mainly composed of aquaponics, as we wanted to grow multiple crops. At the same time, harvesting fish could add to more food supply and even additional source of revenue. We also thought of incorporating rainwater harvesting system. Using it afterwards could allow us to conserve and save the farm from consuming more water. Making use of vertical farming would help increase the year-round production of plants. The farm and all its systems need electricity to run. We also incorporated solar panels. From the many different kinds of crops in the Philippines, we decided to narrow it down to the few major crops that are most commonly consumed and produced in the country, and one of which is rice. With the spaces allotted for farming, our locations will be able to yield an estimated amount of 3,679 kilograms of rice per harvest. And there will be 2 seasons of harvest in a year, which sums up to 7,358 kilograms of rice.
Interacting with nature is essential to maintaining a sense of well-being and our environment as well. Most human beings, millennial or not, are generally drawn towards green spaces. In fact, researchers found that in 75% of the countries analyzed, it was cheaper to use plants to mitigate air pollution than it was to add technological interventions to the sources of pollution.
Intramuros is a congested area, and for this purpose, a modular vegetated system is adopted for covering both walls and rooftops to maximize the use of space. A solution may be to retrofit existing environments to their former conditions with the combination of green infrastructures applied to existing walls and rooftops. People walking alongside the living wall and green roof can also be a breathing space as well. The combination of green roofs and green walls is expected to promote a better thermal performance in the building envelope. The good news is that green roof technology has the capacity to greatly change the game. If we can no longer plant on the ground, then let's plant on the roof.
Adaptive reuse. The base is 3,500 square meter. The east side would be the public area where people could lounge. The west side would be the aquaponics with fish farm and garden. The middle ground floor would be the supermarket with food service. The second floor would be the vertical farming, and the rooftop would be the solar panel. The whole location would be called the Sustainable Market. The area size for the vertical farming in the black location is 828 square meters. The crops would mainly be leafy vegetables and tomatoes. One good example would be cabbages, and one cabbage is equal to 0.01 square meter. So for example, with 424 square meters of space, there would be 4,564 cabbages. Another good crop would be tomatoes, and in every 1 square meter is equal to 2.5 kilograms of tomatoes. So for example, in 424 square meters of space, there would be 1,060 kilograms of tomatoes.
Most of us may have been identifying sustainability as a means of innovating ways that would allow the present to meet its own needs. At the same time, considering that the resources of the future generations must not be compromised. However, if we go deeper and take a closer look at sustainability, it does not completely talk about the environment, but rather a balance among the planet, its people, and the profit we will benefit from it. Among the 3 pillars of sustainability, nothing must be prioritized, because if other aspects are neglected and taken for granted, it could lead to negative effects that could be detrimental to us.
Looking through the 3 pillars of sustainability, we think that our project is able to meet the qualifications in terms of the environment, as we incorporated vegetation and farming that would help clean the air, eliminate excessive carbon emission, and can even reduce temperature. With the proposed programs and incentives of our project's farming, this, on the other hand, targets the social aspect of sustainability, as this opens new opportunities for the urban farmers and other workers within the community to have an additional source of living. Lastly, our project opens opportunities for small businesses like markets and restaurants, which can be an additional source of revenue, which targets the economical aspect of sustainability.